All right, guys, so I thought I would share this little hack with the Grimberg carry that a lot of people ask me about, and I guess I never really thought about putting a video together to show you guys a little hack that I learned that actually works very well. Um, so let's get on to this. If you want to carry, let's say, kinetics, right, in your Grimberg carry, 5 round kinetics. These have magnetic, basically a magnetic detent. So the pepper rounds, as well as their kinetics, are held with the magnet. Now, as you guys can see, I already emptied it and I got the 4 rounds out. Not sure how well that shows up there, but there's 4 rounds. And there's one inside here yet. And it's the kinetic, which obviously I purposely did for this video. So a lot of people ask, if it's magnetic, what if you want to swap? How do you get the kinetic out? Well, I found a little hack that works for me, and it's very quite simple because after all, who's going to be swapping out the kinetics as well as their chemical rounds, pepper rounds, that often? If you're like me, probably not very often at all. So the hack I'm going to share with you, hopefully this will help some of you who do have the Grimberg carry. It's very quite simple. So starting, obviously, if you have a tack light or laser, whatever it is, goes on the bottom rail. Of course, you want to take this off. There's a little screw down here that you want to, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up there. It's right there. You want to loosen that up before you do this. And the screw that goes right in here holds this top front on, as well as the bottom that helps hold this on. I'm going to just nickname this the slide part because it slides off. And as you can see, here is the screw that I removed right here. So now I keep kinetics in here, joule rounds, okay? So let's say I wanted to swap out the joule rounds and put my kinetics. I'm sorry, swap out my kinetics and put my pepper rounds in here. With that said, very simple. Loosen that screw, remove that screw, or even remove that bottom screw, up to you. I just had to loosen it. And what you want to do is you take this top part very carefully. You're really not going to do no damage. I haven't, but first time for everything. It's going to be a little rough at first till you get used to it. Now you see how it's sliding? I'm just kind of being careful as I don't want to break off the sight, even though it's built like a tank. But I'm OCD with stuff, so you guys who follow my channel know how I do stuff. So you just slide that off. That's why I nickname it the slide. Right there is your magnet. Now, let's assume you have this loaded with pepper rounds, right? And you want to switch to kinetics. Let's reverse it so it's more simplified for some of you. How do you get that last pepper round out of here? Okay, I'm going to show you. Right here is the magnet. You want something that you can put in here. Sometimes you can use your fingers. I'm just going to use this little pick here. It's not going to do no damage to it. As you guys can see, that's the magnet. Now I'm going to try to do this, and you guys will probably see it come out. Matter of fact, here, I'm gonna do it this way, just so no one says, oh, well, that pepper ball will break when it falls out, right? Because we all know people like to hate. As you see right there's the magnet. That's the detent. That's very strong. That is your detent. That's the magnet. Okay, now say this was a pepper round in here and you want to safely remove it without it breaking to load kinetics, right? Maybe you're going to an area where you can't have a chemical round in there, but you can have kinetics. Well, watch this trick, little hack. Imagine that being your pepper ball. Now it is removed. Now you can load your kinetics. Same process, you just put this back on. Okay. I'm just going to nickname this the slide. Grimberg's probably got a proper name for this part. I'm just going to call it the slide because it slides on and off. Just carefully put that in there. Don't force it. You'll kind of hear it click back in. As you can see, it's back on. Put your screws in. I'm not going to go through that whole process. You guys can imagine. Put your light back on if you have one. Load up your kinetics back in there, which I'll just so you guys can see the first one. See the magnetics working. That easy. I'll load those later. And that's how easy it is. A little hack to safely unload your pepper round if you want to swap out the kinetics. So the 4 of them will come out, and the 5th round, obviously the first round, will not come out unless you do the little hack that I just showed you. I don't recommend trying to put something in here to kind of wiggle it around so it falls out, because no one wants to inhale tear gas. Trust me, I know. It is not pleasant. I have not tried their fireballs yet, but eventually I'll get some of those. But hopefully this little hack helps some of you out there. There's no one out there really, I don't think, that thought about that. And if they did, I haven't seen no videos. And if there are videos, here's an extra video to show you guys how simplified that really is. Anyways, guys, hope this helps you guys out. Like, share, subscribe, show your support, leave those comments. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, stay 5'11", and definitely get one of these, because these things are awesome. They're built like a tank, and they are a lot of fun to practice with. As always, guys, stay 5'11", like, share, subscribe. Leave those comments on what you think about this hack. As always, thanks again.